prepared our terrines and in fruit, we're going to unmold them and decorate them. We're going to be working with Chaud and Aspic. Literally translated, Chaud means hot sauce served cold. And classically, it's prepared with a thickened bechamel that has gelatin in it. And for the in fruit, we're going to be using a beef stock aspic. Hopefully when we do this in class, we'll use a Glazing, which is a reduced beef stock by 90%. And then for our vegetable terrine, we're going to be using a clear aspic. Now when you first make your Chaud and aspics, they're going to be hot or warm. So we're going to be working between cooling them down in an ice bath and gently stirring them to cool them down to about room temperature, a little bit cooler than room temperature. If they get too cold, they're going to start gelling up and they won't pour properly. So then we're going to actually take them and dip them in a hot water bath, again stirring gently to get the temperature and the consistency that we want. If a Chaud or aspic is too hot, when you pour it on your chilled terrine, it could leave an indent. If it's too cold, it could come out very lumpy. So that's where it's very delicate, going between the hot and the cold. First we're going to do our in fruit. For our chimney, I created a little funnel out of foil, and I placed it in each hole of the chimney, and I gently poured in some cooled aspic. And then I put it in the refrigerator and I let it set up until it was good and solid. Now to unmold, you want to take a knife first, warm knife, so dip it in hot water, wipe it dry, and then gently go around the outside of the crust in between the pan to separate. Then we're going to undo the hinges on our hinged pan and open it up. There we have it. So I'm going to move this to another pan. As you see, I'm working with racks and sheet pans. And I'm going to refrigerate it to ensure that the aspic sets up completely before I slice it. For our terrines, this is our vegetable terrine. This is an uncooked terrine where we prepared a mousse and layered it with roasted vegetables. After I held the terrine over a hot water bath for maybe 10 seconds just to loosen it up, then again I took a knife and I went around the outside, the edges, and I inverted it so it would gently fall down onto the rack. Then I peeled the paper off. And I have my finished terrine. Now I want to coat the outside of this one with a clear aspic, and it may take 1 to 2 coats depending on the consistency of the aspic and how much you need to give a nice smooth surface. Now we can put our gelatin or aspic in a bowl over an ice bath and use a ladle, or we can use a pitcher. The main thing is that we want to make sure that there are no air bubbles, and we don't want any kind of layers. We want to do a nice smooth flow of the liquid. Excess liquid will fall down through the grates. You can let it set up, and providing your pan is very, very clean, you can always lift that up and remelt it. So I'm going to do just the first coating of aspic on the vegetable terrine. And I want this to be clear because there's already a lot of color. I'm going to refrigerate this, and after it sets up, I'm probably going to do at least 2 more coats to get a nice even layer of clear aspic on the vegetable terrine. Our next terrine is our seafood mousseline. Again, gently over a hot water bath just to loosen it up on the bottom. Hot knife around the edges, and then I can peel my paper off. Now for the seafood terrine, I'm using a Chaud, which again is a bechamel, fairly thick consistency bechamel, with gelatin or aspic. It's a good consistency right now. If when you are pouring your aspic or your Chaud and you do see that you have some little air pockets, little air bubbles, just before it sets up, take a skewer and poke the air pockets. So again, this I want to do a nice even coating. And as you can see, using a pitcher is easy because if I had a ladle, I would have to stop and refill. And when you're pouring it on a cold surface, it tends to set up rather quickly. So that's the first coat. I'm going to chill this and then follow with a second coat. And then to finish, I'll be taking pictures of decorations and how to lay decorations on top. And then we're going to slice it and present it on a mirror. Thank you.